you, Doris. Good evening, welcome in. Ken's 5 Digital Center on a Monday night. God's peace to you and yours. Hope you had a wonderful weekend. It was a chilly weekend. The mornings were cold, right? Saturday and Sunday morning. And then this morning as well with a good cold front coming through. Now the winds, Saturday was a chilly wind through the afternoon and Saturday night. And then it was a cold Sunday morning. This morning was even colder. And I think this is where we probably bottom out with this air mass that has definitely dropped some temps for, oh man, it's hard to say it, but could be the last time that we see 20s and 30s. I mean, honestly, this was one of the colder mornings, and I don't see us getting back to the 20s. It was only the hill country that Junction, Fredericksburg, Austin, all hit 28. Kerrville gets down to 29 this morning. And boy, what a difference. Here in the city, 41, right? I thought if you were telling me that Kerrville's dropping to 29, I would have put us at least at maybe 37, right? But no, we went only to 41. Hondo with a light freeze. And then a freeze in Carrizo Springs and below freezing in Victoria. How do you like that? So yeah, some really cold air. Even Port Lavaca got down to 36 this morning. The record low, still a record, 27. Look at that, 1901. That's some old record highs, or lows rather. Speaking of the record high, kind of a landmark year for yours truly. So the record high is 97. It was February 23rd, 2026. So that was the year. Now, that was the year, at this point I wasn't here yet, but in December of 1996 is when I took the position as weekend weatherman at Ken's 5 Television. So here I am 30 years later. Thank you, Lord, for an incredible run and such a blessing to be in San Antonio and at Ken's 5. All 3 of our daughters were born in this city. Just a phenomenal place. I love San Antonio so much. I've never lived anywhere longer than here in San Antonio. Left New Jersey, I was 19, 6 years in Louisiana, 4 years in Alabama, 30 years in San Antonio. Love it. And it all started in 96. Yep, December 96. So, hey, Anastasia, how are you? Anastasia, Hayden, what's going on? Oh, come on now, you're the man. Hey, Kyler, hi, Laura. So, 66 neighborhood for the final Monday, right? No, we've got one more. No, wait, I'm right. Final Monday of the year, of the February. Final Monday of February. So 41, a little colder than normal, but we won't get that cold tonight in the hill country. I think we could get back down to 41 in the city again. 38 Timberwood Park, maybe a light freeze, Bernie, Bandera, Comfort, Kerrville. You're all going to maybe hit about 32 or 33. 40 New Braunfels, 39 Seguin, 37 Hondo. 37 at more. You know, the little valleys out there will definitely see temperatures a little bit cooler, a little bit cooler. Now, I'll show you that models have the hill country staying above freezing, with 37 at Kerrville, even a 41 at Rock Springs and Austin. And then tomorrow afternoon begins the warming trend. High pressure's in control. Northwest flow aloft is a stable, quiet flow that will help warm us into the mid to upper 70s tomorrow, so at least about a 10-degree increase for Tuesday, and we're going with another 10-degree increase on Wednesday. Look at these highs, 86. I'm going with 87 for San Antonio Wednesday. And then some 90s. Del Rio, Carrizo Springs, Crystal City, probably Cotulla. You're all going to be at 90. George West, Beeville might go over 90 on Thursday. Wednesday, why am I keep doing that? Wednesday. Just extraordinary to hit these kind of temperatures late February. Any updates on the massive fire that's been going since 5 p.m. on Prue Road? Whoa, didn't know about it. You guys know about this fire on Prue Road? It's been going since 5 p.m.?
Oh yeah.
And what's the latest? Anything?
Nothing, it's not super serious.
The structure?
Hold on, let me remind myself.
Getting
Abandoned structure.
abandoned structure, Mandy.
Kind of a lot of, mainly some sheds that were damaged in the area.
Some sheds were damaged in the area, so nothing serious.
That's pretty much it. No major injuries.
No injuries.
House total loss.
House of total loss. Thank you. Get an update, Mandy, from our digital team. Mark, it's a long shot at the beginning of March. You know, anything beyond that, I don't put any stock in it. You know, but we're definitely looking at a chance first full week of March. It's going to get a little breezy tomorrow. Watch this. This is part of the reason for the warming trend. We're starting to get a south to southwest wind. Anytime winds turn southwest, it's a little bit of a drier air, warmer air. You know, dry air can hold a lot more heat, so it definitely heats up. But we could have wind gusts near 30, New Braunfels, San Marcos, Tuesday afternoon, and winds will stay breezy through Wednesday morning. You can see Wednesday morning 15 to 20. So we'll get some pretty good south winds in here. This will not be a cold front, and it should keep mountain cedar at bay. So talking about mountain cedar, good news was that even with the increase in winds on Saturday, we only saw it go to about 1,000, I think it was. It was a heavy count over the weekend. And it was going down. It was moderate Thursday, moderate Friday, and lower. And so now this is one of the lowest moderate readings you can get, 120. I mean, I really feel cedar's on its last legs. This is the time of year we see cedar subside and start looking ahead to oak season. But it looks like if it goes down again, it'll start getting a couple of light counts in a row. Once that starts happening, once we start seeing that, it's on its way up. But I'll tell you, if you're suffering today, I always think, I mean, I'm no allergist, but I definitely think it's the combination and the total, right? You sum it all up, mountain cedar, molds, ash, elm, that pollen cocktail's got to be bothering you. For sure. Hey, Paula. I know, me too. I love warm weather. Come on. Hey, Marcy. You're welcome, Mandy. Absolutely. Thanks for asking. It's a house on 4 acres, yeah. Tara, here comes the mold. Yeah, molds are year-round. I'm not expecting, with this kind of pattern, we'll see. I mean, with the winds kicking up again on Thursday, out of the north, that's the key, northeast especially, that shakes up the juniper trees. That's what sends in the mountain cedar. So if we see counts, we'll watch. That'll be the real test come Thursday with stronger north winds. So expect winds on Wednesday to lighten up a little, and we go to 87 in the city, 90s in the surrounding areas, especially south. And then we get a few degrees, I wouldn't say cooler, 84, 79 Friday, but it's the north to northeast winds, and we'll see what cedar does that day. Hayden, El Nino or La Nina? Well, we're actually seeing an end to La Nina. We had a La Nina winter, and that's starting to subside. will have a transition in between the two. They typically call it neutrality, when you're kind of resting in between the two, and then going to an El Nino in the fall. That's what's predicted anyway, to start seeing a warming of the Eastern Pacific. That's El Nino. A cooling of the Eastern Pacific waters, La Nina, both of which will have an influence on the southern United States weather patterns. When we get into an El Nino, and that's the warming trend of the Eastern Pacific, that leads, remember, kind of put it on a scale. If you've got the, well, in your case where you're watching, right? You got the Pacific. If it's warming air in an El Nino, that's going to be rising motion in that atmosphere of the Pacific Ocean, and that'll bring a sinking air motion to the Atlantic. And that's not conducive to tropical development. Remember, those hurricanes build vertically. And so if you have a sinking air motion, that inhibits big vertical development of tropical systems. And you typically also have high wind shear in an El Nino environment across the Atlantic basin, and that also shears the top off of that vertical build. So you don't have a very conducive environment for tropical weather. Now, this past tropical season, a little below what was predicted for sure, but also a little less than average even. And a lot of it had to do with Saharan dust. We dried out a lot of the air. There was a lot of Saharan dust over the Atlantic, some of which made it all the way across the Gulf and into South Texas. But primarily, if you get enough of that Saharan dust over the Atlantic, then you really also dry out those upper levels, which also, again, inhibits that vertical build. So all that to say, a neutrality could begin as early as spring into summer, and then we're expecting to go into an El Nino this fall. Oh, they have, Tara. Beautiful sunsets indeed. You know, when you get these beautiful clouds just right at the right levels. Vanessa, Proud Holoshan, what's going on? Debbie, good to see you, and Juliet. Toast to the water, I guess. Yeah, I already had a cup of coffee earlier. I did not want to double up on that. Hey, Johnny. Elmendorf is here. So, moving forward, gosh, we're going to get a reinforcing shot of dry air later in the week, and by midweek, warming up, but no big chance of rain at all. And the only chance is 20-30% on the 3rd and 4th, and that's about it. That's about it. Absolutely, Hayden. Thanks for the question. Thanks for the question. All right, so bundle up for a cold Tuesday morning. 41 in the city, outlying areas, some 30s to start your day, and then the warming trend is underway. Oh, that had a nice little rhyme to it, didn't it? I love you all. God bless you. Have an awesome night, and we'll see you on Ken's 5 News at 10.